Hi, this is Dawn of Stamp Till Dawn, and I'm making technique tutorials that you can put on tags so you can start collecting your techniques. Today I am doing what was called masking. So you can see this one's completed and I'm going to show you how to get that look. I am using our Spooky Gnome set. This is in October 2020. And this is available for sure until the end of October and then while supplies last. And it is the Spooky Gnomes, D1692. So many cute stamps. Now I stamped my image on my tag and I colored it in. Then I stamped it again on just copy paper, thin copy paper, and then cut it out. And you can see that I cut really close to the edge. Actually, you want to cut like on the black line. Normally when you cut out images, I suggest you keep a shadow around it. But if you do that with this image, there'll be a shadow around your shading. So cut right on the line, maybe cut a little bit of the line off. And it gets a little tricky down here with his shoes, but you can do it. So then you place it on here. Now I put some Tombow adhesive on the back. It's the Tano Multi. Mine looks a little worse for wear. What happens is if you put it on there and then you let it dry, it becomes like Post-it note. So you can put it on things and make it stick, but then take it back off. It's removable. And now I'm going to take my sponge and I'm going to start with the Wisteria ink. So I'm using two new colors, Wisteria. Well, this one's fairly new. I think it came out last year. But Bluebell is the color of the year for the 2020-2021 year for Close to My Heart. So September through August. And it is a gorgeous color and makes a great spooky background. So I'm going to start with the Wisteria. And I've got my sponge here and just dab it in the ink and then sponge it on your background. Now, I purposely use these yellow sponges. They come as a round sponge that I've cut into 4 segments. That way you have 4 different sponges you can work with. And I like these sponges for this technique because I don't need it to be super smooth. I want it to be that airy look that this sponge gives. That gives the kind of lights and darks that you see in the sky. It makes it look more spooky to me, I think. So I'm just gonna keep sponging this. You'll notice I start, like when I'm here, I start on the mask and move away. That way I don't accidentally lift my mask up when I'm sponging. And if you want some darker edges with it, you can always go in and really darken up the edges of your paper by flicking the sponge along the edge. So I think that's looking pretty good. So I'm gonna set aside my Wisteria and move on to Bluebell. And I'll just get the sponge and do the bottom part of my tag. I am kind of addicted to Bluebell. It's such a pretty color. We have glitter tape and sequins and gems and cardstock that all comes in the Bluebell color. And then on the bottom, because if I leave it like that, he kind of looks like he's floating in the air, which if he's a ghost, that works. But he's not my ghost, so I'm going to have him kind of grounded a little bit and use some charcoal for the ground. I chose charcoal because it's nice and dark and kind of spooky looking, but not totally black. And you'll see why here in a minute when I add some finishing touches to this. Now see, I'm using a sponge dauber with this, and so I get a much smoother look, which is good for the ground because you want your ground to be solid. You don't want it to be airy. Might not be safe to step on that. And now I'm going to remove the mask. And check it out. Isn't it so cute? He's just hanging out there on the ground. And so here is another reason why I chose charcoal, because now I'm going to go in here and stamp some bats. And by using the charcoal and then coming in with black for the bats, I've got some contrast going there and it just works really well together. So that is this week's technique. It is sponging and masking. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to see your spooky backgrounds.